All right, lads and lasses, and good day, mates. Oh, on the wrong side. Welcome to another live watch along from the Toon podcast, the Southern Hemisphere's #1 podcast for all things Newcastle United. I am very drunk. Once again, I do apologise ahead of time here. You're going to hear this quite a lot as we go along through the next 2 or 3 hours. It is actually New Year here in Australia, at least on the eastern side of the country. This Australia is so big that it's actually not New Year in Perth or anywhere over that way yet, but it is on this side. In fact, Dex, who was joining us here for the live view, you've been in the New Year for like a year, for what, an hour and a half now?
Yeah, and I can promise
2023 feeling for you?
I can promise you all it's as shit as 2022 was so far. So,
well, brilliant start from Dex. Craig, happy New Year, mate. How are you going?
Happy New Year, mate. It's we are 37 minutes into 2023, and hopefully it's better than 2022 already.
All right, Dex off to an absolute flyer. Well done, Dex. I was kind of hoping to get a little bit of positivity from you, but nah. Right, anyway, so I've been celebrating New Year with my family, and I've done absolutely no prep whatsoever for this. So this is going to be shockingly bad. If you watch the preview, it'll be even worse than that, and that's going to be saying something. At least I got the start right, though. I mean, the start was terrible for the last one. Let's move on to the teams anyway. Let's start talking about the Newcastle team. So we're going to be talking about Newcastle against Leeds at St James's Park. Kickoff. There you go. I'm already getting it wrong. Kicks off in about 22 minutes. Newcastle team has been announced. It is Nick Pope in goal. Popey. Kieran Tripps, Fab Shaw, Sven Botts, Dan the Burns, Bruno the G's, Sean Longy, Joe Willock, Miguel Moron, Joe Linton, and surprisingly, Chris Wood. Now, Dex, I'll come to you since I talked to you first. Chris Wood, surprised? Because Wilson's on the bench. So, surprised by that?
Eddie Howe doesn't change a winning team, so kind of not really. And by the way they were talking, it was a bit touch and go anyway with Wilson. So, yeah. A little surprised, but kind of not.
So you are surprised or you're not surprised?
A little bit.
Right. Moving on. Craig.
Surprised, but a little bit, yeah.
I get the feeling it's going to be an absolute belter, this one. Subs are Darlow, Lascelles, Wilson, as I've just mentioned, ASM, Richie, Lewis, Manjilo, Murphy, and Anderson. So, Craig, to you, are you surprised at all that? I mean, I know Dex says that Eddie Howe doesn't change the winning team. He's absolutely right. But your number 9 is presumably fit enough to play the game. He's on the bench. So, would you have? I think we predicted, actually, I think Bobby predicted in the preview show that Wilson would be starting. He's not. It's going to be Chris Wood. Are you surprised at all by that? Do you agree with Dex?
Nah, not at all. Because again, as I mentioned in the preview show, Eddie Howe did say that he may be giving 1 or 2 World Cup players a bench start, or he may just rest them every now and again. This could be the start of that for Wilson. If he's coming back from illness, he might be slightly fatigued. He might not be good for a full 90 minutes. Who knows, half an hour might get out of him before he starts deteriorating. So I think it's a good decision, personally. Also means the bench is a bit more impactful.
I was going to say, so the bench actually does, Dex, give us a few options. Our bench historically, well, I mean, at least since that guy is involved, the bench was usually terrible. This bench is still terrible, don't get me wrong. We've got Darlow as a backup. I'm not exactly sure what happened to the other fella, but you've got Lascelles in the middle of the defense there. You've got Wilson to come on as a replacement for Wood. Yes, thank you for that. You've got Richie, who had a little bit of a sniff last game. You got Lewis, who just can't get a sniff at all. Manculo, who never gets a sniff. Murphy, who does get a sniff, and then Anderson, who every now and again gets a sniff. So the bench itself is still pretty crap, Dex. But if you're going to change things up, who are you going to swap out in this thing? Who are you going to, if you're going to bring in Saint Maximin, for example, who are you going to drop? I guess it's going to be Joe Willock because it's always Joe Willock.
Yeah, it's a tough one, really. Longstaff, I always wonder why he's playing more advanced than Bruno. So Longstaff's the one that kind of I know people have been raving about him recently, but I still think he's a bit. Yeah, I struggle to see what he gives the team other than running around a lot. So he would be the one that I would either drop deeper and put in that 6 role and push Bruno forward, or I'd kind of sacrifice him to bring on more of an attacking person. My question is, what's happened to Matt Target?
That's a really good question. Because Dan Burners basically just usurped him in that left back position, hasn't he? And Matt Target is a specialised left back player, and he did phenomenally well last season when he came and joined us, and we were in the shit. And he did a tremendous job. And it could be just what you said before there, Dex, at the top. Eddie Howe doesn't like to change the team. But you've got a specialised left back not getting a game. What's your take on that, Craig?
Well, he's not even made the bench yet, so he's obviously injured at the minute, I would have thought.
Is he?
Yeah, he must be. I can't imagine he's been dropped from the squad for the sake of Lewis, because Lewis has had about as much game time as I've had lately. So that's not really going to happen. It is a strange one, isn't it? Because he is an out dedicated left back. Byrne has done a solid job when he's been in there. Yeah, he's been found wanting once or twice, but nothing where it's cost her any points or anything major or anything like that. So again, just like Dex said, Eddie doesn't change a winning team. And the other thing which I find quite strange on that bench, and again, it could just be down to injury, is there's no Ryan Fraser on there. Now, we did make the bench in the last game that we played. So I don't know whether he's injured or whether it is the rumours are true that he's going to be out the door come the 1st of January. We're going back down south. That's the rumours going around. Maybe this will just fuel the fire for that.
He's, I mean, he's been in and out, hasn't he? He's not really had a consistent kind of run with this team. Fraser, he's had a few games together, but he hasn't really managed to secure that position because he keeps picking up those bloody injuries. Dolo, what happened to our bloody ex-Liverpool keeper number 2? How the hell would it end up with Dolo again as the backup? Dolo's Dex. Dolo. I assume, like you, Dex, like me, Dex, that you have the same opinion on Dolo. We talked about that before. I can't remember, but he's not good, is he?
Mate, I'm looking at that subs bench, right, and I'm getting PTSD.
Exactly.
Of 2 a.m. and Richie at left back, Murphy right back, 3 centre backs. You know, it's kind of it's amazing when you think like how good we are, and that's the bench.
But
like, where we on the table, right, and how we're performing.
Is that because our first 11 is so good that we don't have to rely on the bench, though? I mean, like we haven't been forced into needing the bench essentially in the last few games.
The thing is, I'm not Murphy's biggest fan, and if he hits the post every time he shoots, but he actually does a decent job when he comes on, right? And you're right, we haven't had to rely on the sub keepers. We haven't had to rely on Mankilo, Richie. So it'll be interesting, Lascelles, when he's come in, he's actually been good, right? Whereas a year ago, he was an absolute liability. So it'll be interesting to see, if we are forced into making changes, whether those, kind of players who we've just got that, PTSD with, that whether they've actually significantly improved under Howe. And I guess, with Darlow, he's, if you look what was in front of him when he was in the team, like he had Richie at left back, Murphy at right back, Kieran Clark, Lascelles, and Kraft as a back 3. I mean, we're awful, right? So, we were actually the 2nd worst team in the English league in 2021. So it'd be interesting. I think Darlow probably will need to be a little bit easier on him and start to judge him with this new kind of back 4 in front of him, and see what he's like, because he is a good shot stopper.
I mean, that is admittedly far more charitable than I expected to get from you out of that question there, Dix.
Turned 50 this year, mate. I'm turning over a new leaf.
You cannot turn 50 twice, mate. You can't turn 50 twice, mate. That's just the law of time.
You can if you're on the border of Queensland and New South Wales.
It's only by 1 hour, mate. That's literally 1 hour.
I'll go to Perth and fly to Perth and do it 3 times.
Fair enough. Craggy boy. If you're going to, did I ask this question already? If you're going to change things up, how are you going to do the subs bench? I can't remember what I asked you. If you're going to change things up, what are you going to do in the subs bench? I might have asked you already. I'm sorry if I did.
Well, to be honest, we could make a triple sub there, which could really impact the game in Wilson, Maxi, and Anderson. We could bring them 3 on, and they could change the game. I know Anderson and Maxi can play similar position, but Anderson can play inside left as well, rather than just totally out wide. So, there's 3 game changers there. Lewis can get forward when he wants to. Murphy, he can whip it across, but he couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo if you ask him to. It's just, there are game changers on there. But I strapped the cow to a post out.
Crossbar challenge. Can you imagine that guy rocking up to every halftime crossbar challenge around the country? He'd be fucking minted. He'd drive around like 50 Audis. Unbelievable. All right. Sorry, Craig, I cut you right off there, but I had to make that joke. That was more important. All right, let's have a look at the Leeds lineup. Is that working? Is this working? Can anyone see the Leeds lineup?
No.
Not yet.
Christ, no. This is what happens when you piss when you do these sort of things. Let me see if I can do this and then I move that over there. I do apologize. We're normally more professional when I'm not involved. And I didn't have any time to prepare for this because I was celebrating New Year, as I already mentioned. Let's have a look at this, and this. And that's a Leeds team. Astonish, it says on the front there. So it's Melier at the back, Ayling, Koch, Cooper, Adams, Forshaw, Harrison, Aronson, Noto, and Rodrigo. And the subs are Rubles, Furpo, Lorente, Christensen, who comes up with these names? Rocker, Greenwood, Klitsch, Bill, he's pretty good, and Gerhard, the Witcher guy. Dex, since you're laughing, I'll come to you first. What do you reckon?
I reckon somebody stitched you up with that lineup.
Jesus
Christ. None of them are playing. They've just put the hardest names up there because they knew you'd had too much to do.
That comes to be not the hardest team I thought they read out like. Crystal Palace is probably the worst, I think. What do you reckon that Leeds team?
All right, I think everybody was pretty confident on the preview game. Leeds can be quite dangerous, right? Like they've got an energy about them.
Yep.
The Somerville lad who's on the bench, every time he's come on, he's been super dangerous. So, he's scored a few goals already. So look, Rodrigo is obviously a handful. Harrison's a handful. Aronson, I wouldn't say impressed, but he's a bit of a nuisance, right? He just runs and runs at the defense. Mm-hmm. So I think there's definitely, there's danger in that lineup. But I'm confident we'll beat them. But there's nobody there that I look at and go, really got to be on our game to. I think man for man, there isn't anybody in that team that I'd want to swap for any of our players.
Well, that's a really good segue because, Craig, who would you like if you're going to pick someone out of this team? You can include the subs if you like. I usually think this is quite a good yardstick of the opposition. Like, who would you see from the opposition that you think will get into the Newcastle team? Forgetting about the playing out the skins and all that kind of shit. Looking at just a team on the skill basis. Anyone in there that you might pick? And Also, what do you think about the team in general that we're facing today?
Well, Dex kind of hit the nail on the head, to be honest. Harrison, he should be pretty much fresh because he didn't start the game midweek in the 3-1 defeat to City. Also, Luke Aylen, he didn't start the game, so he should be quite fresh. He's a quality player. He's always quite solid, albeit he's a little bit injury prone. But Harrison is probably their key man. He was their top assist, I think, last season. So he's the one to keep an eye out. And obviously, he was a target for us in the summer transfer window.
I was going to say,
nothing came of that. So, yeah, that'll be an interesting one to see how he performs today. If we can keep him quiet, then we should hopefully have an easier game because he is their number one danger man, I would say.
Who's that, Rodrigo?
Harrison. Everything just seems to flow through him when the team bombs forward, you know.
Is he? He's a winger, isn't he? Or is he in midfield?
He is,
Aye. So you reckon all the players going to go down? I think is he left-sided?
He's aye. I
Is
think
he left-sided?
he can play either role, but I think you mean he plays on the right.
On the right. Okay, so he's going to be facing up against the likes of Joe Linton
Dan
probably,
Burn.
and Dan Burn. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So be up to Joe Linton pretty much to keep him quiet, maybe muscle him out a bit to maybe leave his foot in on maybe the first 5 minutes, leave his mark on him. There we go.
Are you advocating violence, are you, Craig? Is that what you're saying?
I am. When it comes to Joe Linton, he can get away with whatever he wants.
You are, right. Oh, okay. I was going to expect a more nuanced response to that, but no, I am. All right, fair enough. Let's have a look at the Premier League table.
Pissing down.
Oh, Christ, can you even see that? Let me see if I can stretch out a little bit. No, it's still the same. All right, squint if you need to. So it's Arsenal at the top on 40. It's Man City in second on 35. Just pipping the mighty Toon in third on 33. You got Man United crawling up behind us on 32. I suppose they must have won that game against... who just played again?
Wolves
1-0.
You jammy mac bastards. Was it like a 98th minute winner, was it?
75th, something like that.
That's about the same.
They did have a second goal disallowed for handball as well, which was rightly chalked off.
Fucking hell. Absolute bastards. All right, you got Spurs in 5th on 30. And only City and Arsenal have played one game less than the teams I've already mentioned. So, you know, they could actually extend their lead by another few points. You got Pool on Liverpool on 6 on 28 points. They won that game against Leicester today without scoring a single goal. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. If anyone watches that game, you'd think, oh yeah, this is Leicester's game.
Klopp's up for manager of their season again.
They've scored 3 goals. 3 goals Leicester have scored, and they still managed to lose. Unbelievable. The first goal was an incredible chip. Second goal,
apparently,
hilarious.
Some bloke had Fags, or however it's pronounced, as he's team captain in fantasy football and played his triple captain points on him as well. How unlucky would that be?
That was fast, wasn't it? Yeah, he got absolutely
destroyed on that one.
I cannot believe you scored 3 goals and lose. Unbelievable. Then you got Brighton on 24 in 7th and Chelsea on 24 in 8th. Graham Potter still struggling. Brentford was a nice win, 23 points in 9th. Fulham still actually doing pretty well at the midpoint, 10th place on 22 points. And then our next opponent, Leeds, is down on 15th on 15 points. They're only 2 points above the relegation spots. And their form, looking at that, isn't particularly brilliant. So they've lost 2, won 2, and lost 3 and won 2 out of 5. Newcastle have won all 5, obviously, because we've got the best form in the entire league because we're absolutely mint. I might get your score predictions, actually. Let's start with Dex. You haven't spoken for about 5 minutes, Dex. You look at that table, and it's very easy to think that you're going to win this game comfortably, but that's not how this game works. What are your predictions for this game, Dex? Give us a score.
I'm gonna go with 3-1 Newcastle.
Do you want to venture scorers?
I reckon Wood might get a couple actually.
All right.
Yeah.
Penalties?
Probably a penalty and a goal from open play.
And who's going to get Leeds' goal then? Rodrigo?
Well, I'm going to go with an own goal.
Who's going to get the own goal then?
It's Botman, so if you've got him triple captain in your fantasy team.
If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be freaking Shaw, let's be honest. Craigie, same question, mate. What's your score prediction on this one?
I originally went 4-0, and I'll stand by that decision. Miggy will score inevitably. I think Bruno and Big Joe will make up the other numbers.
I mean, I do actually think it's going to be a 3-1 to Newcastle, just to clarify that. I'm not the most optimistic. And I do think sometimes that Mark Thompson's there going for a 2-1 home win, Miggy to score again. I tell you what, man, when he gets a run going Miggy this season, he is unbelievable.
He's only one away from 10 already. Considering we've had a break in the season, that's not too shabby.
He'd be if things go right, he could be looking at 20 goals this season. I mean, that sounds bloody ridiculous, but you never know, do you? I'm just watching I've just got the Newcastle game on here now. Players are in a tunnel. I've just got a brief glimpse of the East stands. There was lots of war flag stuff going up there. I don't know if anyone saw that. They did have planned a very big display for this one today. Last few have been a little bit subdued, I think. I don't want to be like a twat or anything, but it seemed like last few have been a little subdued.
That looked wicked on the East stand.
This one, I think, they've went all out, especially last game of the year.
Aye.
Players are coming out now. Dan Burns had a good old chat to Ayling by lots of things. Must know each other from somewhere. I don't know where. Brighton, maybe. So what we've got right in the East stand here is the old Newcastle Blue Star with the Newcastle United words around it on the white circle. And we've got the blue, the white, black and white, and the blue on the bottom stripes. Horizontally, all the way across the East stand. That looks absolutely superb. We'll support you evermore is the words. And among the rest of the crowd, looks like just a few waivers. So the focus has entirely been on the East stand. Just before we get into this game, what do you reckon about? I'm actually trying to remember your names. Who the fuck am I talking to here? Before we get started,
this is like talking to a pissed uncle at New Year's. I'm expecting you to start singing soon. Anymore.
What do you think about Jesse Marsh? Dex, what do you make about Jesse Marsh? His record isn't all that great. He's in negative equity right now, but I think his enthusiasm is wonderful.
He does my napper in. He just seems so disingenuine, right? Like, just I don't know. It's like he just comes out with stuff where it just doesn't seem like he's yeah.
Are you being biased to our friends across the pond there, or
no, not at all. Look, I think he sounds like an American talking football, right? Like, just doesn't kind of seem to.
He is an American footballer.
Yeah, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It just doesn't seem very kind of genuine to me. It's yeah, I find it quite annoying.
Is this the posh English bias coming through here, Dex? I think I got a little bit of a posh English bias coming through here, mate.
Posh?
Nah, I just find him annoying.
Tell you what, we've got Oliver in
Dex finds Jesse Marsh annoying. Craig, what do you reckon?
We've got Oliver in the chat, obviously a Leeds fan there, saying, come on, Leeds, let us know what you think of Jesse Marsh in the comments. Be interesting to get an opinion from a Leeds fan.
Yeah, Oliver, tell us what you think about Jesse Marsh, because obviously he's got a very tough act to follow. I speak to one or two Leeds fans, one more than another. The one who was meant to join us on the preview who couldn't make it, and I do get the feeling that they kind of still miss Bielsa. You know, like that guy. Almost, it feels like a Keegan kind of moment with Bielsa, like, and he eventually got the boot. When you got them to the promised land of the Premier League, and it always felt a little bit harsh. And I do wonder if Oliver can kind of tell us what does he think about the fact that Bielsa's gone, but is there kind of any kind of hangover from that kind of period? And what do you think about Jesse Marsh? All the players are lined up. Bruno is actually in a Brazil shirt with Pele on the back. That's a nice touch. I'm not sure if Jordan is though, mind you. That's a bit weird. So we're doing, I assume, a minute clap for Pele. Craig scored 1,000 goals apparently. You're on mute, by the way. You're on mute, Craig. Craig, you're on mute.
There we go.
You're on mute, Craig. No, you're not.
No, all good. But I reckon it's going to be a fast-flowing game. You know, Leeds don't like to sit back. They will come and attack. It's just not in their nature to do so. They're not going to be like Bournemouth, which hopefully, as we've seen against legs of Brentford, unfortunately Brentford from my way, Fulham and Chelsea, if you come out to attack, we will absolutely take the game to you and pepper the goal with shots and whatever. So hopefully this game will be no different and we can get a good early goal, forcing them out even more.
So you'd think that Chip's going to try and release Miggy, aren't you? He's going to try and get behind the forward press and then all that massive space behind him. That will inevitably leave. But just coming back to Pele, 1,000 goals.
Yeah, right. Don't believe it. I don't.
Dex, do you believe Pele scored 1,000 goals? Has Dex got
I actually thought he was already dead, right? So when the news came out, I was
he's dead again? He's dead again? Oh, Dex, you're 50, aren't you? Come on, you're 50 again.
Yeah.
It's outrageous.
Yeah. So, look, it's he's a bit of a legend, right? So, you obviously want to be respectful of legends.
Wait, it's about time to start it.
Yeah.
All right. We've got the referee in the middle. His arm is up. We are about to kick off. Newcastle are kicking up the pitch, so we've won the toss at least. And Leeds get us underway, although Leeds might have chosen to go down the pitch actually since they're kicking off. Who knows? Oh, God, we've got that woman commentating. Jesus. Let's see if we can get a penalty in the first 2 minutes, shall we? It's all just scrappy in Newcastle's half so far. What do we need to do to start this game off, Craigie boy? What do you want to see in the first few minutes?
I want to see high intensity from the first whistle. And that looks like we're already.
Miggy has literally just fallen over his own feet. Dex, how can we get control of this game right from the off? Do you think just basically high pressure, high press, push them up the pitch like we've been doing all season?
Yeah, Leeds play a high press game, but I was watching a little kind of bit of analysis.
Throw it into Newcastle. Sorry, Dex. Go on.
Yeah, I was watching a bit of analysis about Leeds' press, and it does create a lot of gaps, particularly in the middle. They tend to play their press in threes, but it leaves gaps behind them. So it'll be interesting to see how does around that, and how we can exploit that.
I mean, Newcastle kind of hunt in packs, I suppose. I mean, we do a little bit of that. I mean, when we're high up the pitch, it's very much man to man. And you try and pressure the keeper as well to make a mistake. That was so against Lloris and Spurs. Made a lot of mistakes to play that guy. But when it's in the middle, we do tend to kind of swarm. Let's say swarm a bit. It'd be interesting. It's going to be very interesting because you see some similarities in Leeds and the way they play their game. Like you say, they do actually do the same sort of thing. But they are very. You'd imagine they're very low in quality, in confidence right now. Jesse Marsh will try and build them up, but I do wonder if being an American, how can he? Does he get it? Does he kind of feel it in his bones? He hasn't grown up with it in England, and I do think that makes a bit of a difference. Not very much. I mean, most of the best managers are foreign. Leeds take a first kick at goal. It's absolutely miles away. Absolutely terrible. By the way, Dex, what do you make of Garansky? You were there at the Mariners game today, I believe, against.
I was actually.
What do you make of our new boy?
Yeah, mate, it was really good actually. So it was right on the pitch side. So it was like row B. So really got to watch the whole game at pitch level. and he started as well. So I think is it the first game he started for the Mariners?
No,
Yeah, right. So it was interesting to watch him off the ball, and I spent probably most of the game just actually watching him. And got to be honest, he wasn't involved that much, but when he was, wow, he really makes an impact. So I think the first major involvement that he had, he played a crossfield ball that then the Mariners went and scored from. He did a fantastic run, an amazing pass that Mariners should have had a penalty for, and then VAR overruled it. So so what I would say is, I think he's way off from a start in the team. I think physically he really needs to kind of be built up. But I think as well how I'm sure we'll do a lot of work with him off the ball and just kind of his movement and what he can do to get more involved in the game when he's not actually in the game.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, he's absolutely an amazing talent. Like I think he's going to be an absolute superstar for Newcastle.
Let me ask you this. I mean, Shaw's down here with a head injury, which probably isn't a head injury because Shaw just does these things all the time, milks it. But this is on the back of a Leeds corner. Didn't go anywhere. It's all right. Everything's good. 5 minutes in. Let me ask you about Kowalski. When you say that he wasn't involved very much, is that because the teammates just weren't picking him up? Because I noticed when he was playing for the Socceroos, it was exactly the same situation. I assume he was finding himself in positions. He was running into really good spots, and nobody was picking him out. He's almost getting ignored. Was it the same as that, or was he just like picking up really terrible positions?
I think he was just kind of drifting in and out of the game. So he's one of those players, right? A bit like Messi. He actually walks around a lot. So,
Really?
He's kind of short bursts of impact. And when he does, it's kind of devastating. So I think he just, it was almost like it looked a little bit lost, which is understandable, right? Because he's not really played at this level. Like he's only come on as an impact sub. So I think it was maybe it's more of him just understanding how you play a full 90 minutes and the things that you've got to do to actually create space and to kind of get involved in the game, I guess.
Yeah. So what Craig was just reacting to there as Dex was talking was a little bit of play down the right-hand side. It's fed into Wood, who I think was going to try and square it, but Melier was equal to it. It didn't seem to be that exciting as far as Dex. That
should have been Wood's first goal. I'll go 2-1.
He's tried to go across goal and he's just toe poked it right out of play. Didn't even get it right. It was completely wrong. I can't get it. Craig's obviously going to be far ahead of me. It's going to be very annoying. And it's already back in Newcastle's box here. And Leeds seem very energetic right now. So I think a key point of us today is going to be how we deal with energy, because we are a very high energy team. We don't often come to very high energy teams though, so it'll be interesting to see how that works. Newcastle have the ball though, in their own half, make their way up down the left-hand wing. And voice of the crowd is very good. The crowd seem to be right up for this.
Though Leeds are always going to, again, be a high energetic team. That's just their identity, It's something they've always done. So it's something that we're going to have to try and exploit, because they're not the most stable and consistent team. So they will make wrong passes. They will make tackles, which are going to give away stupid free kicks. And it's just up to us to exploit that.
John Lenton's just given away a free kick down the wing there from a throw-in. Ayling is essentially kind of kicked his leg across his midriff, then fell over backwards as Joe's trying to move forward with the ball, and Ayling won the free kick. I hope that's not going to be an early indicator of how bad this referee is going to be, because that was a shocking decision.
Mm-hmm.
We are very congested in the middle here. But Chips has tried to play Miggy and he's lost the ball. And it's back to Melier, who just hoofs it up the pitch. And Newcastle do not yet have a penalty. This is actually very interesting to watch this because Leeds have just done what Newcastle do to every other team, and that's basically hurry them into losing the ball. To the point where Newcastle, I think it was Trips maybe, was on his arse.
It's a shame there for Jack Harrison. Worked so hard to win the ball back, and we know in terms of ball recoveries in the final third, Leeds
what a ball.
are right up there with that. But then in terms of the composure to find
Lovely spread ball from Bruno into the middle to Willock, who spreads it to the wing to Joe, who just fluffs his kick. Craig, you cannot be ahead of me. This is going to do my tits in all day. What number you got there on the clock there, Craigie boy?
9:05.
Oh, God damn it, 5 seconds in. Oh, try that again. What you got there, Dex?
I got 9:07.
Right, I'm on 9:10, 9:11, 9:12. That's going to be near enough. So right now, I think Leeds are actually winning the midfield battle here. Oh, this referee's going to... Oh, he is. This referee is going to be given absolutely everything. I can already tell you. He's going to be one of those. Who's the ref today?
I don't know.
Let me do the old Google. Oh, 2023. I don't know. Let's have a look. The ref is going to be Sam Huber.
I didn't know what his record is against us, but not many refs have a decent one anyway.
He was in charge of the Forest game that we won at the start of the season. That's it, basically.
Oh, well. Not too bad one.
It looks like he's pissing it down, Newcastle. Absolutely pissing it down. Dex, is that going to help us?
I'm not sure, will it?
Well, we like to play it along the ground, so sometimes. It is chucking it down in Newcastle.
It is proper bounce, isn't it?
It is proper bounce.
We won at Southampton when it chucked down.
That's true. But I think that all 4 seasons in 25 minutes in that game, though.
Needs to make the move in the middle here. Cut out. It's kicked, it's fluffed, and it's going to be a corner, I think. There's a corner to Leeds. That was basically just the swarm that we talked about earlier on there, Dex. There's a lucky deflection, but there's 3 men trying to overload 5 defence, and they still somehow get a little bit of a kick away there. Just through sheer panic. And it is apparently 6 degrees in Newcastle right now.
Sounds lush. It was 29 degrees when I was speaking to my father earlier on here. And that was at 9 o'clock.
6 degrees. 92% precipitation. That's obviously shitting it down.
Tell you what, these
from Leeds,
10, 11 minutes,
Pope fluffs it.
had the better opportunity.
Dig back in by Leeds, and it just goes out for a goal kick, I believe. Yeah. 6 degrees, shitting it down with piss. So what, I've been watching the fireworks at 8 o'clock. It was 22 degrees with 75% precipitation, and there wasn't raining. Yeah, it was sweaty, let me tell you.
Well, it looks like the weather's getting worse over there, like. Trippers on the ball. Right. You agree with that on Malk? Tough 10 minutes, that's for sure.
Oh, it's been scrappy, if anything. But Newcastle haven't had anything to worry about so much. The Leeds are playing like a 5 at the back or something.
I think it's a 4-3-3.
Could well be, but right now it's in transition. It's a 5.
Aye.
Bruno's just trying to chip it, didn't work. Joe's trying to chip it into space. He's lost it. It's gone out for a goal kick to Melia. That was Dan Burn, actually. So this is going to be a very interesting game. This might be very difficult. Here comes Mark, by the way.
Mark's going to be probably in the same condition Lee's in, if not worse. He's been on a high as well.
Marky. Oh, he's good.
Evening, boys. Happy New Year, man.
Hey, I was actually surprisingly sensible.
Oh, he's shit-faced.
right.
Look at his face. He's shit-faced.
I'm
The color of a beetroot.
I'm merry. I'm boiling as fuck. Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Yeah.
Pretty warm, hey.
How's everyone doing anyway? This is like it looks a bit damp on Tyneside.
You're so pissed.
It's
Yeah,
a bit
man,
soggy,
it is shitting it down. Happy New Year, Marky Mark. And
Happy New Year to everyone. Just popped on to say Happy New Year to everyone.
How was your 5 hours worth of drinking?
5-hour drinking package. I didn't drink as much as I would have otherwise because they plowed us with so much food. It was unbelievable.
It's not a bad thing. You're a foodie, aren't you?
Yeah, the food was fantastic, but I'm absolutely stuffed. I was like ready to go at like probably half 10. I was ready to go home and go to bed.
You old man.
But
even Dex wouldn't leave that early. He's the ancient.
Man, I wouldn't go out in the first place.
He's so old. Oh well. I mean, did you see any fireworks there, Marky Mark?
I saw a bit. Yeah, I was over the bridge towards the city.
So
It was good.
You're in your rental, or you?
Yeah, just in the rental still.
Yeah.
Don't officially move out of here until Tuesday. Tuesday, I think. Yeah.
Like next
So
Tuesday.
I've been like Tuesday next week. But I've been like moving stuff out all day for the last 2 days. I'm absolutely shattered from that. So chill day tomorrow. I'm gonna watch the match tonight, and then yeah.
Good on you, man. Good on you. You look absolutely
everyone else having nice. Oh no, I'm good. I'm not as bad as I thought I was going to be.
No, you're pretty merry. You're merry, mate. You're merry. You just need a beard and a sock. Oh, here's Pam. Here's Pam.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Oh God, she's sober than you.
Right,
Bloody useless sod.
Oh, she's not. Trust me.
She looks bloody sober than you.
No.
Okay, Happy New Year.
In fact, she's going to put a Toon top on specifically to come and say hello.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe she's a little bit more pissed than you. Oh no, yeah, she's definitely more pissed than you. Yeah.
Dear. Anyway, back to the match.
Back to the game. Nothing's going on, mate. It's absolutely shitting it down in Newcastle.
It is so wet there. Yeah.
It's 6 degrees or 7 degrees, wherever it is. Leeds are doing.
Got a Leeds fan thinking they're going to win 2-1 right here.
Yeah, Yorkshire born. That's fair enough. I mean, you know, right now
2.1. They're talking about. Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily go against that right now because I'm not seeing a lot from Newcastle. I'm seeing a lot of endeavour from Leeds, though. I think Leeds are trying to do the Newcastle.
Yeah, they're trying to get the high press.
High press, disrupt, swarm. But here we are in the box here. Smothered pretty quickly. It's going to get whipped in by Kieran Trippier. No, it's pulled back. Miggy's just fed in. Oh, it's almost fed in by Bruno. It's cut out by Adams. Very similar to the one that he scored against Leicester.
Decent play in the box, yeah. Come on.
It's interesting. This is probably one of the hardest 15 minutes we've had in quite a while. Leicester were unlucky. We got that penalty really early on, and that kind of just sets the tone, doesn't it? But and of course, that wonderful goal afterwards, that was our own fault. But this one here has been very much a bit of a battle. I do think sometimes that Leeds are very much the kind of original high pressing team in many ways under Bielsa. They did a lot of that. That was sort of their identity, as you said before there, Craig. And if kind of continues that under Marsh, this referee is going to give everything. Everything is buying everything right now.
Come on, Joe Knockamood.
I don't like Joe's ginger haircut, like ginger hair color.
It was red, but it's clearly washed out, hasn't it?
It's gone like a kind of copper, kind of dirty copper color, isn't it? It's rotten.
Needs some color fast dye next time.
Get in touch with Dex. He'll give you all the tips. That's right, Dex. I'm talking about you.
Yeah, I don't think you appreciate that.
Mate, I'm quite happy. I don't need to bother with any of that stuff.
Well,
save a fortune on shampoo.
Good for you. So if we win something, you said you're going to dye your hair. So how's that going to work?
No, I said if we got 7 goals.
That's
I'll
not going to happen
that
today.
to just win or something.
Oh, it's proper bouncing down. Like,
what exactly were you going to dye? And
well, I would grow it, so the bits that would grow, I'd dye them.
Right, so just stuff on your head then. That's fine. Yeah, I was thinking something.
Yeah,
that's all.
Your pubes don't count, you
know. I don't want to see that video. It was bad enough watching Craig do it.
We got a decent free kick here.
Decent free kick, yep, inside their half. By Trips on the right hand side. Easily defended, but it's pinballed a little bit. Bruno's trying to win a little bit of space here. He's surrounded by 3 players and he wins a corner. Well done, Bruno.
Tell you what, first goal is going to be crucial in this one, like, isn't it? If we get it.
I know. If we get the first one, it's going to settle Leeds right down.
If they get it, they could then just park the bus. But again, I don't think that's in Leeds' nature.
I'm just watching Kieran Trippier here. He's about to take the corner, but he's whistling to his teammates to get further back, to get deeper. He's just sent Longstaff back to mark number 7, who was at least 40 yards out of this box here, out the goal here. That's class. I love that. I love watching Trippier make sure that everything's right. The header, it's wide. Wide. Big. All right, man. That was from Shaw, from the free kick. From the corner kick. From the right hand side to the back, and he should have done better, really, when you think about it. He's got a free header there. The only thing that's put them off there is Joe's jumping in front of them. Oh, wait a minute, no. It bounced off Joe first.
I think Joe got a slight touch,
It did, it went off. That would have been the first goal there if Joe hadn't got a touch on it.
I reckon so too.
Should have a call there. Should have had a call.
20 minutes in, what do you all think?
Dex?
I'm sticking with 3-1.
Fair enough.
I think Leeds will kind of tail off in the second half.
I hope so, because I mean we're starting to put a few passes together. In the early possession, I think it was at 15 minutes, was 52-48, so it's been quite balanced in terms of possession. Normally we're quite dominant in the early stages of a game.
Legitimately, I don't think any team covers us in terms of fitness.
No, I'd agree with that.
So yeah, we've got Wilson, ASM on the bench. That's got to be a big plus.
Your audio is weird, Mark. Your sound is weird. You got the right microphone going on, or what?
Who, me?
Yeah. Oh, Leeds just took a shot. It's alright. It's blocked.
I'm on my headset.
And let's go straight back. Yeah, I think that's what you're on. I just heard that rustle. So yeah.
He's in a room with no furniture.
Pretty much, yeah.
Well, more than that, he's on
all my regular podcasty shit's all like packed up. I've literally got my podcast mic boom. Like,
tell you what, that is the most gorgeous boom in the world. Lovely spread to Trips on the right hand side here. We're inside this area. He's just giving it away. That was so lazy.
Oh, ref man, fuck off.
And that is definitely going to be a foul from Trippier on. That was definitely a foul. You didn't think that was a foul? You went in from behind. Greg, that wasn't a foul? No?
So Aronson's got the legs on Burn to begin with, like. That's one to keep an eye on. Then number 7.
Burns is not a left back, bro. I keep saying this.
He's not, but that's a position he's playing.
He's too tall to be fast.
And the only option, because Target's not on the bench, would be Lewis.
But with that said, he's doing a fucking tremendous job. So yeah.
Get on, Joe.
Oh, the ball from Bruno to release Joe down the wing to Willock. He's only got Chris Wood in support here. He's got a corner. How are you still ahead of me, Craig? God's sake. I'm titting.
Yeah, I'm miles ahead of you as well.
Yeah.
I'm on 23.
You're still back in 2022.
For God's sake. Right, there it is.
To get past, but then there's just not enough Newcastle United players in the box for him to aim at. There's only Chris.
How can the internet be so random in bloody same state? Come on, Trips.
Decent corner. Sven Botman, far post. Bullet header.
He's due a goal, surely.
He is.
Trippier down Newcastle's left. Down Newcastle's left. 50 minutes swing it. And it goes. It's headed to the far post and
How did Burn
Joe
miss
Linton
that?
has absolutely Miggy's absolutely sliced it into the corner of the strawberry, I think. No, with Lisa's. I think it's probably just hit my seat where I used to sit.
Burn's got the longest legs in the world, and yet you
How
can't make a
has
solid
Burn
connection.
missed that? How has Burn missed that?
God knows.
Because he's not a
Oh
bloody
my
striker.
God.
He's not even a left back, man.
But I don't get you should be making the contact with that.
You can't, man. He's not a
Any
striker.
contact, that's in. That's terrible.
I'm more disappointed by Miggy's finish there.
Fell
He's on
over.
fire. He's on fire. I'm disappointed by that by Miggy. Should be
Miggy's
a
was
lot
under
better.
pressure at least.
No, but he's got a free strike though. He's not under that much pressure. So wait a minute. So Dan Burn's not under pressure, but Miggy
Come on,
is.
Joe.
Come on.
Joe Willock's just released Joe Linton down the left. He's got 3 in support, 2 in support. He's been blocked off. That's going to be a free kick, surely, and the referee's given it. And he's going to probably get a little taken off to Simon Hooper here
What a
for a
cock.
terrible facial here.
Is
Oh, it's going to be
this,
cock.
is this too far out for Trips, you think? Oh, it's wrong side as well, isn't it? Maybe sharp.
Nobody's going to strike it in the goal from there.
I don't know how far out it is. I couldn't tell. Let's see. Aye. Could have a crack from there, you know.
It's a bit far out for him.
Newcastle had 5 fouls apparently.
Someone as good as Kieran Trippier over the ball.
Goal here would be ideal.
Yeah, I realise. So, are Leeds making a sub here?
He's got a blood injury, I think. He's
Yeah.
got to change his shirt.
Take his bra off first.
Look, I can barely hear you, man.
On we go with another.
Here we go. Come on, Trips.
Trippier kick going.
The ball.
Oh yeah, I'm not having this.
Trippier asking the
Whipped in, it's kicked on the slide.
saves.
And I think, was that Dan Burn again?
Pretty sure
No,
it
it
would
was
have been
Sven
offside
Botman.
anyway.
Oh,
Yeah.
Sven Botman is worth a goal by now. God almighty, what a man that guy is. He's sliding, he's falling, he's trying to get a touch on it. He does get a touch on it, but it's,
Good
he's in
save.
acres of space. Acres of space. Melee gets a brilliant hand down to his right. But that was a wonderful, wonderful ball.
Good. I still think Melia for Pope's long-term replacement. He's only 22, 23, so he's got a good number of years left in him.
In front of a good defence, he would actually be all right. But I mean,
Just a few.
that's probably saying more about the defence than anything else.
Aye. Hope he's got any number on his shirt. I don't think I was allowed these days.
Well, he's got the advertisers, mate. That's all right.
For sure.
Whoa.
We're just not getting very far in this midfield battle here.
Share
Lovely turn from.
forward.
Oh.
He overhit that rather.
He's got to do better. Chris Wood in just in that phase of play. Liam Cooper comes
Oh,
in
Gannon,
behind
Joe,
and
what a
takes the
tackle.
ball off his toes. He's
what
got
a
to be stronger
tackle.
initially, then actually gets on a really nice body shape.
Joe Linton robs his man down our left.
And Wilson is on the bench for Newcastle today, having missed out at Leicester.
Was a corner? Go on.
And that was a goal kick.
And he's all fantastic
So basically the half hour mark here.
as well in terms of
Everyone's absolutely getting shut on by the weather. It's been a bit of a game of attrition so far, Dexy boy.
Maybe look like we're kind of starting to get a bit more control now. It was frantic that first 20 minutes, but the last 7 or 8 minutes, we've got right back into the game, I think. Starting to dictate the play a bit more.
Do you think the weather, Craig, is making any kind of difference here? Do you think it's impeding us?
It's making it zipier on the surface. So for anyone who plays the ball on the floor, they've got to be a bit more control with the pass and with the speed of the ball and everything. So that's got to be a bit more measured. But I can't see it having much more of an issue unless the pitch starts to waterlog, which shouldn't happen on a modern day pitch if Premier League club, to be honest.
No. I'll be all right.
Oh, you're afraid, Miggy.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, Leeds are doing a very good job of keeping us contained here. That's been a beautiful long ball to release Miggy here.
They're actually doing really well defensively.
Yeah, they are.
Leeds?
Yeah, which is like strange for Leeds because they're normally like just trying to reenact the Keegan years.
Well, you know, I actually, I'm not entirely surprised by that. There's been lots of games where Newcastle haven't been all that penetrative against the opposition, and you can see Leeds here are playing right on the halfway line. Newcastle are pretty much in their entire half in the defensive formation. We're not really doing the high energy press here now. I've got to wonder if the weather's playing a big part now, because obviously soggy, heavy pitch will make it very much more difficult to keep the energy levels up and to chase down. God, and the referee just gives away stupid fouls like that as well. I mean, you know, you get no help from the ref on this game. So we've got a free kick to Leeds in Newcastle's half, just beyond the halfway circle on Leeds' left-hand side. What we haven't seen for a long time is Newcastle coming back from a goal down.
Yeah, hopefully we don't see that now.
Exactly right, but here goes the free kick. It is definitely routine. Spread to the far corner. It's easily dealt with by Newcastle. That was pretty shit. But Newcastle have everybody back here. Everybody back. So defensive. I wonder if we're getting a little bit worried here.
It's still early doors.
The stats are that we've had 6 attempts against 4, and we've had 2 on target against them 0. But that's a foot into Miggy. That looked painful. Harrison's just had a studs up on Miggy there.
Yeah, cut the top of his foot there.
Well, you got to remember when we played Villa.
He's just stamped down on the top of his foot. How's that not at least a yellow? That's a shocking decision.
You got to remember when we played Villa, we didn't get the first goal until just before half time. And then second half, we absolutely annihilated them. So same thing could happen here, who knows? Like I say, first goal is going to be crucial.
How was that not yellow card at least to Harrison on that stamp on Miggy? It was a blatant stamp. That's it. Willock's won the ball. He's spread it wide to Joe Linton. He's only got one in front of him. He's been easily defended against. Willock's got the ball again. Got a runner and Miggy on the far corner. The ball's not good enough, but we do win a corner.
I could have went anywhere from the defender.
I'm not sure what he was doing. Why did he head that out?
Yeah, he could have maybe a throw-in or just back into play or whatever. He wasn't under any real pressure.
Mate,
you're not going to lose the head out of Miggy Almiron.
He's probably just watched that Leicester-Liverpool game and thought, fuck that. I'm not going to farce it. It's a short one by Trips to Miggy. Back to Trips. Puts to the far end of the circle. Wilson takes about 1,000 touches and then gets absolutely nowhere.
Too many touches for Willock there.
Are we missing Wilson here? What is Wood actually offering so far?
He's actually been all right tracking back where they've been trying to crowd her out in midfield. He's made a few decent interceptions. He had that early chance where he feel across it in. He just stubbed it out of play. Never a free kick, that. Hey, good. Sorry, throw it to us.
That's actually good by the ref there.
Yeah,
this is what's
very
going on
good.
here.
He's trying to buy that all day.
Leeds are trying to. Leeds realise, as I did, right from the very start, this ref is going to give them absolutely everything, and they're playing on it.
Yep.
That's one of the
Which
first
is
indications.
just bullshit when it's wet like this.
Yeah, that's maybe the first indication that they're not going to get everything that they want, from the ref. Throw in Newcastle. He's into the box. Easy defended again. We are not committing that many people up front here. There's at least about 5 or 6 Leeds defenders when there's only about 3 Newcastle attackers. Oh, that's a foul. Put it on.
Took him out. Harrison for Aronson. Ronto now.
Yeah, you say that, Mark, but I'm not exactly sure which team you're talking about.
Right, I am going to jet. Have a good night, boys. I'm going to go and watch it because it's.
You still here, Mark?
I'm massively ahead of time here as well. I'm like
you can take over the
5 hours
if you
time difference ahead of you. It's all good.
Take over the
Right, have a
commentary.
happy New Year, everyone. I'm going to head off.
All right, mate.
Yeah, mate.
Go sleep. See you later,
Actually, I might come in the second half. I don't know yet, but we'll see.
bud. All right.
Take it easy.
See you later, mate.
Tell
He's
you
well
what,
done away.
this game crying out for Maxi? You reckon?
Nah,
No.
not for me. Not yet. We're not even on the ball that much.
We're doing our read for possession. What do you think,
I don't
Dex?
think-
You're on mute, by the way.
Whipped it. Look at that lazy ball from Dan Burn from the wing straight to Melier. Absolutely.
I think
nobody
it's
challenging.
just one of those games where, when we've seen this a lot this season, I wouldn't say struggle in the first half, but you look at the Southampton game, it was pretty similar. I think was it 1-0 first half. My pitch has frozen now. Yeah, but I don't think kind of Maxi's the answer right now. I think we just need to get possession and better quality in the final third.
I think Wilson will make a huge difference here. I do. It's not that Wood hasn't had has been fucking up the chances or anything, but Wilson adds a lot more to his game. That's a foul, ref. Come on. Adds a lot more to his game than just striking goals. He's a bit of a show. He comes deep. He makes play. He comes Leeds into the box. He's rode 2-3 challenges and kicked it wide. Goal kick in Newcastle. And I think Wilson. I think what Wood is. He's a classic sort of. I'm in the middle. Give me the ball. Like Wood to me doesn't do any work to sort of help himself in many ways. Like he doesn't. Sometimes he'll come deep, but not very often. He doesn't spread it wide so much. He's basically sitting there waiting to get the ball. Whereas Wood actually will do a lot of the donkey work. Wood will do a lot of the fuck's sake, we were talking about here. Wilson will do a lot of the work to make the play happen.
But with Wood being a target man, he is just going to be a lot more stationary.
Well, that's it though.
Compared to Wilson anyway.
He's pretty static. If we're going to try and turn this thing up, we need someone who's a little bit more dynamic, and I think Wilson will bring you that. Newcastle in the corner.
Wilson's movement and Isaac's movement once he's back fully fit, compared to Wood, is literally differences black and white, But Wood offers a lot more in a defensive proposition compared to them two. So I know as a striker, he's in there to score goals, but he does have his place in the squad.
But when you talk about how you're going to change this thing up, I think you need more dynamicism up front. It just feels very predictable right now. Leeds are very comfortable. They're not really having to try very hard to defend here. That's a problem for us. Here comes the corner. In swinger, easily defended again. And the second ball's won by Leeds. They have a bit of a break on here, but chose to go the wrong direction. And Bruno should have a foul there, but doesn't get it.
Absolutely no idea how that's not a foul on Guimaraes.
This referee is taking the piss. He really is. Willox just picked the ball. Easily defended again. Here comes Joe with a long ranger. Easily defended. Leeds are just sitting in deep banks and breaking on the counter. And we're not really doing anything. It's like kind of huffing and puffing here. And now Leeds have got a corner. Corner in transition.
Yep. In the 39th minute.
This is worrying. This is. The weather's not helping. But like, Leeds could easily nick a goal on the back of a breakaway, and I'm not exactly sure that we're going to score today. I've seen little evidence that we're going to score today. Feels like one of those to me.
Like I said, it's fairly similar to the Villa game. That was a bit open. Referee was terrible, blowing for everything. And then the penalty we got just before half time, that massively changed the game.
Yeah, Leeds corner easy defended. We have a little bit of a break on here. Bruno can spread it to lovely dink to Shaw, is it? It is Shaw. He's up on the far left wing. Shaw. He's went down in the box. He's got.
I'll have to take a look at that.
He's got nothing out of that. I think that was pretty much a dive.
Nah, I wouldn't give that as a pen, to be honest.
It's not harsh. And he's just fallen over. It's a dive. I'll tell you what, though.
Actually, no, he does he steps in front of him.
From that angle there, he steps on his instep and he goes down.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, man, if VAR looks at that and sees that angle we've just seen there, there's going to be a decision to be made. He steps right in front of him.
They've already continued play.
Fucking hell. Fucking hell. How could you do that? How can you look at that replay like that and go, that's fine, wave on? That's ridiculous.
Yep.
So, you know what gets me, right? Like, the guy hasn't got a challenge in, so they get a goal kick and commit a foul, and we don't get a penalty. Like, I just can't understand these decisions. Like,
it wasn't a foul. That's the point.
Well, in front of the ref.
But how do you knock somebody off the ball, right?
He dived.
Not get a touch on it. Not get a touch on it.
No, he just dived. That's the decision. And his was the
last
touch.
Not a dive because anybody give him a yellow card.
That was his last touch. No, you don't.
So,
because
unless it was a 50-50 tackle.
That rule doesn't really exist. That rule doesn't exist. Nobody ever
yellow
gets
card for simulation?
Nah, it doesn't exist. Nobody gets that, man. Because you can't prove the simulated.
Well, Neymar got sent off for it the other day.
Neymar, yeah, you can make a point about it. You can't prove it yet. And this referee,
the ref tonight, the Mariners game was terrible. So he gave a penalty, then he overturned it with VAR, and the keeper had got a touch on it and knocked it out for a corner, and he gives the ball back. They don't even get the corner.
Oh. Newcastle under absolutely no pressure whatsoever, give the ball straight back to Leeds. Here come Leeds on a counter.
So that's a foul. That's a foul, but in the box it's not.
This is a shit show. Trips is basically telling the ref that the player could have crossed.
You're a fucking idiot, ref.
He's getting yellow carded. Oh, me.
All the ref's seen there is Tripp's hand lightly grazing his shoulder, and that's what he's seen. He thinks it's a pullback when he's cut across him. There's nothing Trips could do there. He couldn't get out of the way.
But Trips knows better than that. Why is he even doing it? He should know better than that.
There's not
just allows it to happen.
In front of Trips.
He's already seen how bad this referee is, though. He's already knows how bad this referee is in just this game. You need to have the common sense not to put a hand on someone's shoulder. Simple. He's a friggin' international, man. That's a loose ball in the box. It's cleared.
Amaron's been quite anonymous, to be honest.
Barely had a sniff.
Very anonymous, mate.
Wilson trying to force the issue, but
Crowd's starting to get a bit anxious now as well.
Yeah, well, it's the whole siege mentality now because the referee is. This is like when you're playing one of the top 6 teams, you know, when the referee wants to give everything to them and nothing to you. It feels like that. Except we are a top fucking 3 team and we're getting nothing from the referee. And now what's he doing? What's he waving for now?
Overlapping play for offside, I think.
What do you mean offside? It's no bloody half.
I don't know then.
Yeah, the fans are getting a little bit pissed off at this. I can't blame them, really. This is
look at me.
This is turning into one of those horrible refereeing performances.
Yeah.
One of those things that you just think, you know, when you look back in it, you go, well, we could have picked up another couple of points.
Simple, Simon.
This will be one of those games if this doesn't change. All the more reason why we need to get the first goal. And it's going to be clean as a whistle. With a fucking rule out or something. Joe Lennon just want to throw in over the halfway line. Eddie Howe was waving everybody to get the pitch.
Can't be much added on time. Maybe a minute or 2 at best. That was a terrible ball.
Yeah, absolutely shocking from Shaw there. Just feeds it right back to Leeds. It's 6 against 2. And Pogba smothered it. Botman shepherded the guy out to the wing. Did a very good job there, in fairness. But started from a very, very, very poor ball from Shaw. And I'm trying to feel optimistic, but like I'm not seeing a lot of reasons to feel optimistic about this game so far.
Just 1 minute added on.
Oh, Christ.
60 more seconds.
Oh, well. Not the first half we were all hoping, to be honest.
We haven't got any yet.
Always the way.
Still time yet, though?
No, I want to see that penalty again. We'll get some halftime highlights, but I want to see that call again because initially I thought it was a dive, I'll be quite honest with you. And then I saw that camera angle where the guy just takes an instep. And so essentially Shaw can't do anything but fall over. And I want to see that again because I'm not exactly sure how close it was, how much of a... Was it in front of Shaw and it was just the idea of it that made him fall over, or did he actually make any contact? Obviously, contact.
Well, this is
Willock has went down just outside the box under Ayling. Ayling's getting away with murder so far this half.
Tell you what, this ref looks older than me.
This referee looks about the same age as Dex. This ref looks exactly about the same age as Dex. He's probably just given this free kick because he's going to get pelted if he doesn't. I think it was probably just a natural clip of the heels. I don't think it was an actual deliberate foul by Ayling there. But Ayling's had his fair share of shit.
Should get a yellow card for that then, shouldn't he?
Yeah. Not in black and white, though, mate. Not in black and white. I can't believe Tripp's got a yellow card for that. Jesus Christ. Unbelievable. This is prime Tripp's area. Can we get this goal before half time? What a time to get it. This will probably be the end of the game after this. So it's going to have to be Trippier. It's going to have to be over the wall, you'd imagine. We got the daft cunt on his arse. I hate seeing this. I hate it. Shaw looks like he might actually be doing line up for a blammer, so you never know. You never know.
Special moments.
Yeah.
Surely the last kick of the half.
If someone celebrates before me, you know what's going on. It's Trips into the wall, and that goes to half-time whistle. Pretty tame from Trips.
Well, Mark's got there. If we score, we get a few. Otherwise, 0-0.
Yep. That has been absolutely shit. Is that going to do it for a summary? Craig, can you give us a little bit of a summary of that one then, Dex?
Scrappy opening 10-15 minutes. No real chances for any team, really, until Dan Burn couldn't get his big toe onto that corner, which, if you had to make contact, I think that's 1-0. Leeds haven't really offered much in terms of an attack around the box. They've been good in the midfield and just inside our half, but they haven't threatened the goal or anything. We've definitely had the better chances now, but nothing what you call a concrete chance. And just literally, Ben stuck the words at my mouth. We need Wilson and Maxi on. I do think those two are there. The way that the pace of the game is, it's designed for Maxi. I really do. And Wilson's movement on and off the ball for a pacey game could be a game changer too.
I'll tell you what, Chris Wood has been pretty much anonymous this half.
A few have.
Your summary, please, and how would you change it up?
Mate, I reckon I must have been smoking crack predicting Chris Wood to score 2 goals.
You're a fucking idiot, mate. Is what that is. You're just an absolute idiot.
Fucking hell. Yeah, he showed all his 25 million fee there in that half. It was, as you say, it was anonymous.
Anonymous.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, look, I think we just need more threat, right? But not just that. I just think the quality's we've just not looked cohesive, right? Like normally we're flowing. There's the movement's good, the kind of passing's high quality. It's just not. We look to be like performing at 80% of what we have been, on this run that we've been on since. Really, September? So yeah, look, it seems like a kind of Christmas hangover this game.
What would you change, Dex, to try and improve our lot here?
I'm not sure bringing Wilson and Maxi on is the answer, to be honest, because we've been off it. Like, I mean, every player's off it. So I think you just got to try and get words in the ears of the players and get them to just get back to doing what they do best. I think they've just let Leeds boss them, and they've just been hassled, and I think they look rattled is what they look like to me. So I think I would leave any subs for probably the last 30 minutes and then look to bring people on.
I mean, is it just me, or do Leeds seem like they're playing deep and just trying to hit us on the break here? Like, or they're doing a Bournemouth, but with more intention to try and score. But not so deep as in like just in their own half. Like, I mean, sorry, just in their own box. But like, there is definitely, it seems to me, a lack of genuine intent on going forward, and it's more a case of stopping us first, and then if you get the chance, from their own press, see if you can then break and see what happens on the back of it. I imagine if it wasn't for a pretty decent defense, we actually might be having a different conversation here, because there's been a few times they've actually gotten behind us, and the likes of Sven Botman have managed to clean up behind them. Shaw's not having a great game. I get that feeling that Shaw's having one of those games where he's a little bit off his levels. Trips, by his own standards, hasn't been particularly brilliant. Chris Wood has been almost anonymous, but you could say the same thing about Miggy as well. He's been very, very quiet. Willock's probably had a little bit more play than anybody else. Joe Linton as well. Yeah. There's a few substandard performances in this performance so far. But how much credit, Craig, do we have to give Leeds here? Because this is a game that they can't afford to lose. They're 2 points clear of the relegation zone. What the hell is this reef? Good point, Jake. And let's talk about the ref as well, because the ref is I said it right from the very start. He's going to give like pretty much everything, and so far he's been very, very soft. Ayling in particular seems to be going down under anything at all. But there's also been a few occasions where Newcastle should have had something, and the referees would just waved on. And that's before we even get to that penalty thing that happened there, Craigie boy. So, is this just Leeds doing a really good job on Newcastle right now? Is the weather playing anything to do with it?
Ben has just said there, Miggy is effectively being double teamed. which is something that we were used to seeing on Maxi when he had his solid position out on the left. So he's not able to make those runs. He's not able to cut in because there's always another man ready to challenge him for the ball. So that's proven to be quite difficult. Maybe we do need to exploit it a bit more down the left, and then that could open up a bit of space on the other side, on the right. In terms of where we need to improve is to get a few more shots on target. Put the keeper under any type of pressure, you know. I know it's easier said than done, but Bruno, he's been fairly anonymous. He's actually been a bit sloppy in possession. A few little heavy touches, which is not like him at all. Maybe, again, Eddie wraps his arm around them all in the dressing room, gives them a hot cup of tea and said, you know what, lads, second half, they're running up the hill. They play the game midweek, so they're going to tire that a little bit quicker than what we will. Let's get into them. Get into them, fuck them up, as the chant used to go, and get that early goal in the second half, and it's a completely different story. If we get that first goal early in the second half, then I think the floodgates could potentially open.
So Craig's still full of misguided optimism, Dex. The keepers have done nothing so far in this game, haven't they? Like, no team has really actually done that much towards goal. It's very much been a game in the middle.
Yeah, I think we've had some decent chances. You know, Share should have scored, really. Botman was close to scoring. So, look, without playing very well, we've had some clear-cut chances. But, look, I mean, that point that you were making about Miggy and 2 players on, they can do that because they're not going to worry about Wood, right? Whereas if Wilson's on, he's going to take 2 players. So I think that's something that probably, Howe's looking at as well, because, all the points that have been made, there's nothing going down the left. That's been an issue all season. We've talked about that a lot. And the balls that are coming into the box, there's no one there as well. So it's been predominantly shots from outside the area, and they've not been that good. And the area's pretty packed, right? So how are you going to get a shot through on the keeper when Leeds are defending pretty well? And something that you said, and I think was on the pod last week, Mark was saying that he doesn't think that we're getting credit for actually making it difficult for teams and actually making them look shit because of the pressure that we're putting them under. And I think you have to say, maybe the reasons why we're looking shit is because Leeds are putting us under pressure and we're not getting the time to play the ball that perhaps we've had. So I think that's something else that we've kind of got to keep in mind. But as you pointed out, Craig, we've just played a couple of days ago against Man City. You've got to think they're going to be tiring in the second half, particularly with the rain as well. That's got to be heavy on the legs, man.
Yeah, and running up the hill.
Yeah. It's like I said before, though, they're kind of doing in Newcastle on us, but they were the original protagonists in the first place when this whole kind of high press, chase you down, give you no time. That's what they came up to the league with. So it'd be interesting to see what happens next. I need to go for a wee. I'm going to go to the loo. I'll be back in 5 seconds. You guys talk to each other.
You're going to go for an anonymous.
I'm not listening. I'm going for a wee. I'm so drunk. I'm going to get another beer.
Oh, good. What did you think it was a penalty, Dex, for the Fabian Shaw challenge?
I think if the ref had given it, VAR wouldn't have overturned it.
No.
So I think if the ref had given the pen, VAR wouldn't have overturned it, and they wouldn't have said it wasn't a pen. So I think it's one of those 50-50s. But if the ref doesn't give it, I don't think VAR is going to kind of, because there wasn't enough there. But look, other times they could, and the ref will feel obliged to give the pen. It's I'm just sick of talking about VAR. So one thing I will say is that it's a lot better run in the Premier League than it is in the A League.
Oh God, it couldn't be any worse of that one. But JC, there's definitely a pen given the yellow card. Trippier got a minute later, which is a very valid point, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, look, I said that at the time, right? It's like, how's that a yellow card and a free kick? And they get a goal kick.
Do you reckon if that challenge on Shaw happened outside the box, the ref blows for a free kick?
Possibly, yeah.
It's stupid.
He doesn't seem like a strong ref, does he? Right?
No.
He doesn't seem like he just reminds me of a school teacher.
The geography teacher who's made it do a PE lesson because the original one's called in sick.
Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly what I was thinking.
But I think if it happens outside the box, he gives a free kick, but he bottled a penalty. And there is an angle which does show the Leeds defender puts his leg across Shaw, and Shaw trips over. Whether the trip is intentional, but Shaw can't just stop like he's hit a brick wall. His momentum.
But he's got a leg and an arm out in front of him, so.
So it's a tricky one. At first, I just thought it was a fair challenge, but seeing that second camera angle did change me. Anything was a pen, and you'd think they'd see that angle at the VAR truck, wherever it may be, and then go, look, hold on, ref, call that one back. We want you to go to the monitor to take a look. And normally when it goes to the monitor, the decision is in the favour of the team, Very often, not very often does the ref go to the monitor and stick to his original decision. I think
this is the now again more of the grey area where they're talking about this. It has to be a clear error. Well, what's a clear error, right? Like, it's so subjective, right? Like for us, that's a clear error. For Leeds fans, they're probably thinking, that wasn't a pen. So I think it's this is where, and then you'll go on another game, and VAR will intervene and suggest that the ref gives a penalty for exactly the same same challenge. So it's just frustrating.
It is. I'd like to say the ref has been consistent, but he's been consistently shit.
Yeah,
he hasn't let anything flow. He's blown for the stupidest of free kicks. Like Lee said, Luke Ayland's just been falling over as if he's slipped in dog shit or something like that. And the ref needs to get a grip of these daft little fouls that Leeds are given as well. I mean, we're guilty of it too. It's not just Leeds that are doing this, but he needs to get a grip and either stamp on it straight away or let the game flow.
Yeah, and he has to look at the weather, right? Like, I mean, look at the rain that's coming down, right? Players are going to make errors, and you've got to factor that into the flow of the game as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Craig come up with a perfect description of the ref. He's like the geography teacher who's taking PE, doesn't know what he's doing.
What we're gonna Wood got climbed like a ladder 10 foot in front of him. Yeah.
I'm going to do a thing where I do this thing.
Yeah, good comment there, Jay. Oh, looks like Leeds are going to be making a sub. Looks like Rocker's coming on. He is an attack-minded player, so maybe they're thinking, they can go for the win here. But again, will that work into our favour?
So you got Bournemouth losing, surprisingly, 2-0 to Palace. Fulham 1-0 up against Southampton. Man City winning 1 against Everton.
Guess who's scored?
Pushing.
Holland.
Well, I guess.
Correct.
Newcastle Nouts against Leeds. Later kickoff is going to be Brighton against Arsenal. That'll be a very, very interesting game, actually. Brighton are not any kind of mugs. No. To be honest with you, if we play like this against Arsenal, we are in trouble. Let's have a look at the live table. I think this is live. Yeah, it is live. So we are still in third. Yes. On 34 as it stands, an extra point. 2 above Man United, which means if they win their game in hand, they will go above us. Spurs won't though. So we have the potential to drop down to 4th unless we win this game. Man City are, of course, stretching their legs. Arsenal are quite far ahead. So the best we can do right now, if we win this game, is to sort of maintain our 3rd position. And the players are in the tunnel. Nice Leeds players are, anyway.
I reckon House give them a bit of a rollicking half time or whatever House equivalent of rollicking is. And should hopefully see a different Newcastle United. The players, or at least Willock and Shaw, seem a bit animated in the tunnel. So, you know, hopefully the lads have got a bit of fire in the belly and they come out all guns blazing and we can get that early first goal in the second half, which again totally changes the dynamic of the game.
Mm-hmm. Of course, if Leeds get that goal, it totally
Leeds get that goal,
the
then
dynamic of that game, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I think all the players there have just been taking the piss out of the ref, telling him how shit he's been the first half.
There was a little bit of something going on there, wasn't there?
Yeah.
So
Trippier said even he said it wasn't a yellow card, pointing to the player that had fouled.
Yeah.
And then Cher was like, "That was a fucking penalty."
So Leeds are making a sub at half time.
No.
Number 4, number 8 on. Mark Rocker.
I reckon Dan Byrne was asking the ref about this precipitation and when it's going to pass and if he knows anything about cumulus clouds.
Sir, speaking of teachers, Jesse Marsh is like that super enthusiastic teacher that none of the kids listen to, but gets excited about stuff all the time and starts explaining it, and everybody's like, "Yeah, whatever, sir."
The one that lets you swear in class.
Yeah. Here's how we're gonna play, lads. Yeah, whatever.
I'm gonna go and set fire.
Longstaff was pretty quiet.
Yeah, I'm off for a tap. I'm off for a vape.
No, Newcastle over the ball. That's probably offside. That's not. Giving it up. Still play it. Goes over and gets a free kick. That was
right in the corner.
Soft. Very soft.
Yeah, that was harsh.
Yeah, it's a terrible decision. Why can't the bloody referees and linesmen look at that and go, that's obviously you putting yourself in the position to get nudged over? I mean, it's like you sit here and watch it week in, week out.
See you later, Drew.
Did you see?
How about Crips?
Here comes Trips. Free kick. About 2 meters in from the line, from the byline. Right hand side. What can we do? Oh, quick, stop that one.
Oh, he skied it.
He's skied over the bar. Cheers, Craig, for that. There is no excitement when Craig's involved. Craig just ruins
Good
everything.
composure to control it first. So just lack the finish.
Shaw picks it down from the cross, takes a touch, moves his inside, loses his defenders. He's aiming for the far corner.
We've created some good chances, you know, despite how bad we've played.
Mm-hmm.
Particularly corners.
You don't want Shaw doing that, though. You need someone else doing that.
Let's say Leeds, they've never threatened our goal, if I remember rightly.
No shots on target so far.
I didn't think so.
Yeah, I don't think Pope's had a save to make, has he?
No, he's cleared a few little bits of scraps up, but nothing what you'd consider a save. Oh, how am I, ref?
Aronson.
Oh, yeah, we'll go.
Fucking hell, the new subs just went down like a sack of shit. Mark Rockwell.
Willock done not wrong there.
Who's this twat?
Didn't tell me he's going to review that on VAR because there was absolutely bugger all wrong with that. Oh, how are man? VAR having a look at this.
What?
What actually happened?
Fuck all.
Well, Rocker went down as if he'd been shot by a sniper, claiming he got hit in the face by Willock.
He's gone for fucking 3 minutes.
Was he the Willock or Joe Linton? Not sure, to be honest.
That's Joe Linton. That's who's getting this fucking ticking down.
Let's see. Not wrong with that.
Nothing doing though.
Oh, Christ, he did. He put his fist up. He put his fist up.
He didn't touch him, though.
Doesn't matter.
Well, you can threaten people as much as you like, as long as you didn't touch them, I reckon.
No, you can't go on the field with a gun and threaten people as long as you don't touch them, mate. That's not how it works.
Should be, though. Yeah, they call it a contact sport.
What contact with a bullet? I think Joe's got lucky there. He didn't even did not even get a yellow card.
Right. Like Mark says, fuck all in it. Not in that whatsoever.
It was a bloody lashing out.
16 matches in their top flight history. More records waiting to be broken here over the next few years.
Again,
50 minutes.
In 5 minutes.
A good way to start, isn't it, in terms of
I think Leeds' plan today is just basically disrupt as much as they can. Like, stop us from doing what we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
working
about
so
that.
far, obviously.
So far, yeah. Well, they're getting the referee who's absolutely useless. But their game plan so far is just to disrupt as much as possible, defend like a bitch. And we're struggling to do anything about it, but we haven't changed personnel yet. So everything for us right now is exactly.
You got to remember, right? They held Man City right to the very. I think it was the last few seconds of the first half that Man City scored.
Yeah, but that was ignoring all the chances that they had to start with, though. The Haaland just didn't finish. That's his bear. There's Miggy down the chips down the right hand side.
Claims a handball, but didn't do.
Chips just curls it into Melia. Melia's had to do absolutely nothing. It's pathetic.
Looks like it's a little bouncing down on Tyneside.
This might be the game where we drop points, This might be the game where we stop slipping from top 4 to top 6. You have to win these games. These are right at the bottom. This is like
that one out. You think this point is much better off for Leeds than it is for us? I know it's still a point for the rest of the season, but still.
I think it's also a challenge for Howe, right? Because he's clearly got to change the game plan, right? If we want to get all 3 points, and he's got Wilson and ASM sitting on the bench, who we know can impact the game and change it. And it's how much you're going to just stick with a system, and how flexible can you be to actually get a result?
No, exactly right. A good manager is not a manager who gets results when they're winning. A good manager is a good manager who gets results when they've played shit. And we are not playing very well today, but that's a lot to do with how Leeds are set up. So Jesse Marsh has done a pretty good job so far with his team. It remains to be seen how long this goes on for. But more to your point, Dex, I'm more interested in how Eddie Howe's going to change this. How is he going to win this game for Newcastle? That's how you know he's a good manager.
More movement up front. Like I say, Wood's being a bit static. Wilson can come and collect a bit more, and then he can run at the players. Wood doesn't have that in his locker.
Yeah, Wilson can come back. He can spread. He can run at space.
Okay, again. Oh, fuck. Good save.
At least we have the options for that, though. So in goes the ball. Headed down. It's open goal.
Did I really say Wood was going to score 2 goals?
Chris Wood with a base.
Did I?
That ball was out by a mile.
That was a good save by the keeper, to be honest.
Chris Wood, right hand side of the goal. He just has to keep it to beat. Makes a monumental mess of it. Newcastle do eventually get a throw in at the second time of asking, and the fact they play all the way back, but they get a free kick. Thank Christ. And this is starting to get a little bit feisty. What a header down to Wood that is.
Mm-hmm.
Was it just too close to the keeper? Did Melia just do such a good job? I don't think he did a terrible job, that's for sure.
Melia's reactions were good, but I think
Wilson score that?
Lack of acceleration stopped him from getting to the ball a little bit quicker, where he could have got a bit.
He couldn't get the ball as quick as the ball is going, though. I mean, so would Wilson have scored that? You go ball to trips straight to the keeper. What an absolute waste. Craig is evidently still far ahead of me.
That save, it was brilliant how quickly it came out.
You know, the longer this goes on like this, the longer we run the threat of Leeds thinking there's a game to be won here. You know, first half is usually about management, so oh Christ. And they've done that. Second half, can they just, nick it?
This is frustrating. But
it's like kind of trying to play a game of football and shoot. Oh, the referee stopped the game. Fucking hell,
why?
Referee, man.
Not a head injury? That really annoys me, that.
This referee is absolutely terrible.
No, rule is you don't have to put it out unless it's a head injury. Knee head injury.
This is terrible.
I mean, unless his leg or arm is hanging off.
The first bloody foul was against us. Dex, you're a shit ref, mate.
Ref didn't give up. Dex didn't give up your day job. No, you didn't make a good referee.
Right, don't give up the crypto, Dex.
Oh, come on. Leeds are starting to grow in this game now.
Yeah, well, like I said, first half was about managing it. Second half was about winning it. They've seen nothing from us to be worried about. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Nothing at all. That's a foul, ref. Fucking hell, finally. Newcastle by a foul.
Why I think getting Maxi on now, so we can spread the play across to the left, would be a good decision.
This weather's not helping at all. These are finding space now in the middle. We are committing so far forward that they're finding space in the middle here. They're here on the right hand side.
Good save, Pope.
He's been allowed to be dinked in. Jesus Christ. Pope full stretch saves. Why was he allowed to cut in on his favourite foot? Bloody ridiculous. That's all it takes. That literally all it takes for us to be absolutely stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't had a single high press. I've not seen any of us high pressing. Apart from just right there. Oh, the crowd is roaring. Come on, Bruno, what can you do? Leeds are back in the defensive shape. 4-4-2 right now. 4-4-1-1 maybe. Newcastle go around the corner. I'm going to take it in. Oh. Well defended by Cock. You cock. Under pressure from Wood. Corner to Newcastle.
Comment from Tony there. Wood needs confidence in game time, but we can't afford to give that him now until pre-season. By then, maybe too late due to new signings in the summer. Fair point.
Well, look, this is the kind of situation where, that's flapped by Melier, but he gets it away. Leeds on the risk of breaking away here. Bruno's trying to win a free kick, gives away a throw-in, I believe. No, he gets a free kick. This is a situation where you take off Wood and you go, right, Wilson, you're back in. We said before at the top of this that it doesn't have to change the team that's winning. Well, we're not winning right now. Get Wood off. Get Wilson on. That's at least a positive change up front. If you bring on ASM, you might as well take off Longstaff because I can't remember last time I heard his name. Honestly,
that's a fair point, actually.
Apart from when you start the second half, that one touch, I don't know what the hell he's done. I'm just going to get a touch now, isn't he? You absolute bastard. There he is. He gets a fucking touch. Unbelievable. He cuts it down the wing. Cut the back. Whip it in, boys. Whip it in. Oof. Whip it in. Lovely work by Miggy. Lovely work. It's a foul. That's got to be a fucking free kick just outside the box.
Thank God.
Just outside the box. Down the right-hand side. Miggy is flying here. He's desperate to keep this pressure up. I love to see that. I love to see players. They get fouled, they go down, they get up, they grab the ball, they're ready to go straight away. Drives the team on, keeps the fans on board. What can Newcastle do here? 60.
We need to target that straight in the
59 minutes.
However, come on.
Turn the screw. Someone said it in the first half, but we are definitely doing it this half. Turn the
Then we've got
screw.
Mark Thompson. However, come on, lads.
Here comes free kick. Trips again. Who else? Could it give me a little routine? Pull it back. Is that what's going to be? No, it's dink to the far post. Pretty much misses everybody. Not the best. Still have the ball though.
Where's the movement? Like we've got two players on the line there, not
down
moving.
The That's a down the corner. When a throw in, I thought it was a fucking corner. I thought he was going to give it to a freaking keeper. Newcastle have to go all the way back to the half. We're line to reset. These try to come out, but they're now going to reset backwards. Spread it wide, easily intercepted by Leeds. Newcastle just give it away. And I think they'd be surprised to get any out of that.
Applying the pressure now, like.
Dangerous ball. There's the crowd. Pressure's still on. Chips takes a very, very quick throw in. There's 2 balls on the pitch. That's how quick we did that. And it's another throw in to Newcastle. In line with the penalty box. Thrown in by Trippier, and he's giving it straight to Melier.
Good idea, but not well executed.
It's only a great idea for all the rest of your frigging teammates on the same wavelength. The fans are really a brilliant voice. I mean, despite the fact they're saying, well, this is basically kind of, us against them, isn't it? The referee is killing us here. It's gone 60 minutes. He's Bruno on the ball, just outside the box, spreads it wide. To Miggy, cuts it inside to Longstaff, and it's defended pretty well. It was going absolutely nowhere, in fairness. Another corner to Newcastle. Fans are going mental. Can we score? We need to score right now, don't we? We do. Under this pressure, we have to get this goal.
The momentum we've got now. Just
how many times we've seen in the past where we don't score when we have this kind of momentum and basically he's stuffed, don't he? In goes the ball by Tripp. Far post head down. Well saved by Melier. What a save.
Tell you, he's a cracking
Shaw did everything right. Shaw did everything right there. Down in the ground. Melier came out and spotted it. Brilliant save by Melier. Very quick routine. What the?
What's he giving? He's giving a goal kick.
How?
It was it was saved by the keeper.
Maybe.
So the referee is now stitching us up again. That was blatantly a corner to Newcastle.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no doubt that it's a corner to Newcastle, is there? It was saved by Melier. It was going in. That's a save by Melier. That cannot be not a corner. So what happened after that? Why is this a free? Why is this a goal kick to?
I don't get that.
Christ. That ball went straight out. What the hell was that?
Maxi and Wilson are coming on. So it's going to be what, Wood and Willock, we reckon?
Longstaff, maybe. Longstaff's done absolutely nothing, but it probably will be Willock. Should be Longstaff. Fed the ball in. It's in the box. To Newcastle. It's blazed over the bar.
Longstaff.
Blazed over by Longy. Fucking
terrible.
Every time I mention him, he does something. I'm just going to start saying Longstaff over and over again. See what happens.
Tell you what, though. Leeds can't get out their own half right now.
They can't, but we can't score, so it's all irrelevant.
I'll have a lot more confidence.
What I do like about this right now,
though,
what I do like about this right now is the urgency. This is a team that urgently wants to win this game. Urgently wants to win this game. Wants the 3 points. I love to see a team like this that knows they're up against it, but they are desperate to get those 3 points, and they're doing everything they can. They're doing quick throw-in, quick corner routines. It's non-stop. It's incessant. It's exactly what you want to see. There's still, it's only 64 minutes. It is fucking Willock. Unbelievable. How is Longy still on the pitch? I know he's more defensively minded, but for fuck's sake, he's done nothing.
Longstaff will drop.
I've watched Willock do things. I've seen Longstaff do nothing.
You'll drop more defensive midfield, and Joe will drop in the middle now. Okay, we're a bit more bite in the middle.
Well, I'll tell you what. Right now, Howe has played all these bloody top trumps.
Oh, ref.
That is a foul and a half.
Was that straight again? That wasn't.
That's straight on Bruno. Bruno's going to make the most out of it. That's definitely yellow. It's nothing more than that.
I'll tell you what, it was Andy right at the beginning.
Don't disagree with Tony here. There's Andy.
If this finishes 11-aside, at this rate, who knows? Could be a
I don't
red
think it's
card.
quite that feisty. No, I don't think it's... The referee is so bad that he'll never get to that point. Having said that, the referee's that bad. Like,
That's what Max is getting.
Shea tries to dink it over the top to SM and sees the cut out, but George managed to win the second ball. And he goes over and wins, possibly it's the win. Yes, 3 Newcastle.
I agree with your comment there, Tony. Maxi needs to hit the ground running, get anything out of this game.
Oh, he absolutely needs to get... Maxi needs to do something. He really does. Right now, he is excess to requirements. And that's not a position you want to be in as a footballer.
He's still got his place in the squad. Might not be the starting 11, but he's definitely got his place in the squad.
He's not the kind of player who'll be in the squad, though. He's
He's got to be. He has to be the main man.
Yep.
Well, we'll see what impact he can do in this one. He's probably got half an hour since he came on to make an impact. Same with Wilson. And if anybody can make an impact, it's going to be them two, you'd think.
Well, 61 possession to Newcastle to their 39. But there's very little show for it.
Leeds are starting to get a few dodgy tackles in here. They're going to pick a few more bookings, I think.
I think Dirty Leeds are starting to come to the fore, aren't they? Dirty Leeds.
Dean, what they can to disrupt the player.
When are they going to get this lad? They actually get 10 yards back for a free kick.
I haven't seen it yet, Dex. I'm glad you noticed that. That's roughly about... That's not... Is that 10? It's borderline.
He's noticed it.
Every time, man.
There it is. There it is.
He just keeps walking forward. Get him back.
I took them. Aye.
Get in. He's got a yellow card.
Why the fuck? Why did it take Trippier 2 times to pause and then to kick the ball for the fucking referee to do his job? The fucking referee's job is to tell him how far to get back. Why is he giving the player a yellow card? This guy's useless.
He's still not a full 10 yards, I don't think.
He's still not 10 yards back.
Fucking place. He's in the same position. The block didn't move. Why is that? How is that a yellow? And then it's not a yellow straight afterwards. It's the same position. Why didn't the fucking referee get his little spray out and do the thing? Oh, yeah, man.
Even the fourth official's looking, going, what's going on?
Fucking VAR. VAR's like, I'm turning this monitor off here, mate. I've got nothing to do with this.
Oh, stand on Miggy.
Miggy's cut in.
Longstaff, you fucking donkey.
Fuck.
Longstaff.
Is that Longstaff again? Jesus Christ, Longstaff. Like, I do not want anybody on Twitter trying to say that Longstaff runs a lot. Because, tell you what, if I got a game at St. James's, I'd run as much as he does. Which I'm sure you would, Craig. I'm sure you would.
He does run a lot. That doesn't excuse his terrible shot, though.
That was terrible.
That was laid up on the plate.
Tell you what, when the Rugby League Magic weekend comes back around, they'll be putting him in the starting lineup.
Yeah. Tell you what, him and Murphy want to try out for AFL, I think.
They're not professional footballers right now. I mean,
if we're playing AFL, I think Murphy would be a top scorer, wouldn't he?
Nah, not if you hit the post.
That's all behinds, though, man. It's all behinds. You hit the bar, it's behind. You fuck all. It's 1 point.
With extra time, there's still 25 minutes left to go. Come on, lads.
Extra time from this ref. You haven't enough, haven't you?
Well, what, in the 69th minute?
Put a whistle on the 89th.
flat-footed. I'm surprised he's even got feet.
The problem was with Longstaff right there is he had far too much time. That was the problem. It's always been the problem with Longstaff. If he has too much time to think about it, he fucks it up. He's actually not bad. I mean, you know, high praise. But if he has too much time like that, he will make a mistake, guaranteed every time.
Aye.
Every time. You can put your house on it if you can afford one.
Leeds making another sub. They're getting fully defensive now by the looks of it, I think.
Well, I mean, why not? There's 20 minutes to go. This referee's a useless sack of shit. The guy who should have been probably sent off by now is going off. And he's being protected.
Is that Somerville coming on? Yeah. This is the lad that got the winner at Anfield a few weeks ago before the World Cup.
Yeah, Jimmy Somerville.
Aye.
Oh, brilliant.
This is not Jimmy Savile. He was a Leeds fan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was he? Oh,
He was, aye.
Yeah, he was Yorkshire, wasn't he?
I was thinking more him out the commune odds.
Nah, they've not heard of it. But Ian's
Jimmy
gone off now as
Somerville.
well, so
Jimmy Somerville?
nah.
The gay bloke?
No idea.
You know. Fucking kids, Dex.
Bronski beat.
Unbelievable.
Young'uns, eh?
The youth of today. We don't know a bone.
Do it now, you're bound, mate. Do it now, you're bound. Alright, so Newcastle has the ball still. Trying to make something happen in Leeds' half.
How I mean, come on.
That's a lovely spread ball to the wing to Miggy. And he tries to play in.
You noticed how much more space Miggy's got now since Wilson come on?
Aye. Yeah.
Not massively.
Bruno looks hurt, like.
Thick is away a free kick there. The linesman in the stand there without his even flag up. Bruno's writhing in pain, which I don't think actually means anything. But the linesman's just stand like going. He's right next to the friggin'. He's right next to what happens. His linesman's like.
Has Maxi touched a ball since he's come on?
Nah.
It's all be done all right. That's not as bad as Bruno's trying to make out.
Good position for a free kick, this.
He's Brazilian, this.
It's
Here comes Chips on the wing.
This is effectively a cross, this.
Oh, wait, Newcastle. Fuck's sake, get a goal, will you?
How
We've got 10 bob on 3-1. Here comes a free kick.
Oh.
Chips haven't been all that great. Craig's just size, so I'm not even bothering getting excited.
Whipped in by Trippier off the head of Stroud.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's go out.
Appeared to go behind, indeed. It's a corner.
Dan Byrne giving me the old shove there.
Come on.
This is going to be a 0-0. This is, I'll tell you what, this is going to be a 0-0. Unless someone scores.
If this gun's in.
It's another corner for Kieran Trippier.
How lads?
If this gun's in, it won't be 0-0.
With the mist and the gloom on Tyneside.
Here comes a corner. Chips again. It's going to be an in-swing up.
Things up for themselves in this match.
Ah.
And it goes.
Trippier, yet another corner.
And it's
Melier will
smothered by Melier. Well, not smothered, but claimed by Melier.
And he's in a hurry to release Somerville. Admirably dealt with by Longstaff.
It's too easy.
Yeah, the ball's back in Leeds' half, but Newcastle is struggling to string a few passes together here. What the fuck's that Leeds throwing? Give over.
Newcastle in a hurry there, weren't they? You see the urgency.
I remember give a goal kick for a corner before, so you know.
We're inside the last 20 minutes and they're desperate to take
The officiating in this league is now actually laughable. It's the best league in the world. Well, maybe the best league, but we've got the worst officials.
Sometimes alright, but this has been shocking. This has been as bad as I remember. And I've got a great memory. Newcastle spread it wide. Off to the left. Here comes Maxi. First touch probably. Oh, and he's fucking fluffed it. Oh, here. Yeah. Newcastle managed to lose the ball. ASM's first touch was horrific. Here he comes having another chance and he's fucked it up as well. Newcastle threw in. So far, Maxi doing nothing.
See now Leeds are really struggling to get out of their own half every time they win possession back. Newcastle win it back off them very quickly, or Leeds
Come on, Newcastle.
give it away.
There's a spread on here. If we can pick it up, here we come.
Off.
Chips.
Strap was quickly upon him.
Jesus
And,
Christ.
He gets the free kick.
I tell you what, I hope his
Trippier-
wife blows as good as he
Trippier-
does because he's fucking
Trippier-
useless.
Trippier knew that was going to be a
Mate,
free
I
kick.
reckon he blows, to be honest.
Trippier knew it was a free kick.
Free kick. Rightly so. This game has been aggressive in the best possible way. You see what Trippier's trying to do there. But
So top, you wouldn't think it, would you?
Somerville again, clever with the way that he uses his body. Glad to take the contact.
Jesus, this has been a rough watch. I'm sorry to everybody in the chat here. This has been terrible.
I tell you what, it's not for the one to try, no, for the lads. It's not like they've just not had the effort or just been a lackluster performance. They have put a bit of effort in. But Leeds, first off, they kind of matches man for man, but now they're just trying to chop it down.
I tell you what, this
In the ref certainly hasn't helped.
This ref is doing everything against us here. That was blatantly a Leeds kick out, and it's a Leeds throw. Unreal. I'm not even sure if we score that the bloody referee won't rule out for some other reason anyway. Wilson on the ball. Still with the ball. In his half, he's trying to play one.
It's probably Joe Linton's worst game, I think, since I came in.
Yeah, I think Justin Moss has done a good job here, you know.
But
Bruno's not been particularly brilliant. Yeah,
Bruno's
not been great. I think you've got to give credit to Marsh, to be honest with you.
Get on, Maxi.
I'm not giving Marsh any credit.
That's up to you, mate. That's up to you. It's not refinement. Maxi skips through one man. Feeds it wide. Bruno Shaw. No, it's Miggy. Miggy skips. He's in the middle. He's spread it wide again to the left. So basically, Leeds have pretty much everybody, apart from one person, back defending in their own box. Newcastle are doing their level best. Joe Linton skipped inside. He's looking for options. Oh, his one option fell over. Bruno is getting hustled. Bruno's still got the ball. He's trying to dink it over the top. It's easily defended. Leeds get the ball back. And there's a break on here if they can do it. Nope, they've lost it. And Newcastle have the ball still. 76 minutes. Newcastle have to do something here. They really do. And they've just kicked the ball straight out. No, they haven't. Yes, they have. It's offside.
Unlucky lads.
The problem with that is
he was onside there now.
We've just released the pressure.
He was onside. Another dodgy decision from the officials.
Pretty bloody close. Well, Miggy just has to keep on going. I thought linesmen were supposed to flag unless we're absolutely sure anyway. Or even then, they're not supposed to flag it. Yeah, Scott's on the fence there.
Not even spectators could save these ones. Referee, the linesman, they've been a
push to Miggy to ASM.
Oh, yeah, man.
In the box. Tries to square to Joe and he scoops over the top of the bar. I don't know why we're shooting from there.
Tell you what, if Murphy comes on and gets the winner, I'll never say a bad word about him ever again.
Yeah, dye your pubes, eh?
Look at the time Joe Linton has on this ball as well. He had a time to just keep the ball down.
Off goes Miggy. Doesn't look too pleased.
Miguel Almiron won't be continuing his scoring streak.
And out comes Murphy.
Come on.
Oh, Murphy.
Imagine him being a saviour.
And fought 13 times this season. Who might step forward to settle this, if anyone will?
I think the crowd's pretty much settled down now. Pretty much they know what's going to happen here. It's going to be a 0-0, isn't it? Midfield battle here. Referee's giving a free kick to Leeds.
But a Man United fan in the chat.
Allegedly. Man United fan wants Leeds to win. Oh, I see. They're scared, eh? Fair enough. I can feel the fear. It's not really helping us, but it probably is helping everybody else. Leeds Man United 2 points behind with the game in hand as things stand, so that's not great. So Man United win that game, they go above us, so we'd go down to 4th.
Leeds have a free kick, and Newcastle have had plenty of those themselves. Cooper to launch it.
Free kick easily defended. What can Newcastle do here? Yeah, Sam's on the ball. He's getting barged out of the way and he's been double teamed. He's writhing in pain. I'm not sure exactly what for. Leeds.
Eh?
He's getting a free kick on the edge of the box to Leeds.
Oh, eh? They let them play the advantage.
What story this would be? They've been right under.
They've been right under.
Majority.
Tell you
Where
what.
the hell did this come from?
Eddie better be getting them Monday morning target practice because we're shooting has been terrible this game. And our conditions haven't been great and that hasn't helped, but still.
It's not from bottom. It's Dan Burn. A shirt tug. I wouldn't say that was completely unreasonable. Oh, the referee wants to be is apparently keen on where the players can stand behind the ball. That's interesting. This is right on the outside of the box. Slightly to the right hand side as Leeds go. Left to us. We've only got 3 in the box. 2 lingering. 2 of them are actually not even marked on the edge of the box here. It's a terrible shot. Straight in the wall. Jimmy chips it. Bruno wins the ball back. Takes it over to ASM. ASM is kicked up the arse. Gets nothing. And Leeds managed to recycle it all the way back to Miss Melia. 87 minutes.
Looking for anything there.
No, we take 4th and Ahmed. Love 4th.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, of course it would.
Botman, Burn.
Oh.
Newcastle ready to come again. Some maximum.
ASM skinned his man.
Away from Christensen.
Skinned the second man just about. His help just about gets it to the Newcastle teammate. Little nutmeg from Joe, spreads it to the other side. Chips kicks it straight to the keeper again.
Keep it on the floor, man.
I've said it
Keep
before.
it on the floor.
I've said it before.
The keeper's just hoovered up everything like that this game. That's what he's very, very good
the ball's right to his hands. The ball's right to his hands. He hasn't got to do a damn thing. I'm not even sure Wilson's touched the ball so much in this since he came on.
No, he hasn't.
He's starting to hit the Leeds fans now. This point is absolutely magical for them, but yeah, it's not so good for us.
I think what it's shown to me is that we've taken for granted the miracles that Eddie Howe has performed so far with players like Longstaff, Murphy. We just looked really short on quality today, and I mean, we've seen Joe Linton not put in a good performance. Gimaresh, if he's not on his game, we just do not look the same team. So for me, it's kind of just been a kind of set me back down to earth. That we might be 3rd in the league, but are we necessarily over a 38 game season a top 4 team? Based on that evidence, I think we're kind of, there's still a lot of work to be done. Not to knock the work that has been done so far, but I think it's just we're going to see more teams set up against us like Leeds have done, particularly this second half, of the season. And I think it's kind of we're just going to be asked a lot more questions.
I'm just watching Jesse Marsh giving the old fisty pumps to his players as they come off. They are obviously very delighted with that 1 point. For them, where they are in the league, obviously every point counts. Craig, is there any chance that let me just see the stats here before I come to you? Newcastle had 60% to their 40, 16 shots to their 8, 5 on target to their 1, and 9 fouls to their whatever, 9 calls to their 3, 13 to their 19 fouls, and 3 yellow cards to their 5. The most important statistic, of course, is that we didn't win. So, Craig, bearing in mind what Dixie just said there, is there any chance we could look at this result as a kind of a kick up the arse before we go to play against Arsenal, the team that we like? If we go to Arsenal and come back with a 0-0, I think we'd be justifiably pretty happy with that. Can this give us that boost that we need to say, like, look, lads, we're not getting anything for free here. We need to sharpen our frigging tool set and we need to get back on it. That was way below our performance levels.
Not necessarily. I mean, we're always going to have a bum in the road. We're never going to win every home game. We're never going to win 8, 9, 10 in a row.
Craigie, we've drawn with Palace, Bournemouth, and Leeds, who are all bottom 5 sides at home, right?
Right. But if you look, Man City, they're still drawing 1-1 with Everton. So, if Everton ground out a point away to Man City, that's a ridiculously good point for Everton. They're in a similar position, worse position than what Leeds are. So what does that paint a picture of? Man City weren't that far ahead of us. All teams are going to have a bump in the road. This is just a little bump here. As long as we don't go on a 4 or 5 game, not necessarily a losing streak, but a non-winning streak, then I don't see it as a potential issue. Arsenal will be ridiculously tough. I don't expect us to get anything from that game, but I don't think anybody does. But it's how we respond from this game onto the next, then the one after. Like I say, speed bumps happen. It's just one of those annoying, frustrating things. We weren't at our best. Leeds had a game plan. They stuck to the game plan. It worked for them, and it unsettled us. And we've seen that with the actions of the players at the end. Like I say, if Everton do ground out a point against Man City, that is a significantly better result for them. And it doesn't necessarily make it any detrimental to us because there's no ground lost or gained on both teams. Yes, Man United won earlier on, but it's a long season. Like you said, we're not even halfway through. So take this one point out of the many that maybe we probably shouldn't have had to a certain degree. But yeah, I'm happy with the point given the performance. Yes, I would like to have got all 3, but you cannot have it your way every single week, or else we'd be top.
Dex, your post.
Oh, look, I think we've just struggled, right, when we've had teams come and park the bus. And I think it's kind of, there's a trend here at home against teams that are going to come and park the bus that we've got to find ways to break through. And we're not.
We've never been that kind of team, Dex. We've never have been that kind of team. Well, sometimes we'll do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. But by and large, we are not the kind of team that will break down a bus. I mean, look
I think though, I think a lot of teams are going to be looking though and saying, hey, well, Bournemouth drew, Palace kept a clean sheet, drew 0-0, Leeds have drawn 0-0, and they all played a very similar game plan against us.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is essentially to stop us from playing, and it worked. And this is these are the sort of trials and tribulations that all the teams go through when they start to move up the leagues.
Those teams that have drawn against us, they've come in here with the idea of we'd be more than happy with a point if we can get all 3. That would be absolutely superb. But if you look at it again, it's another clean sheet for us, which is fantastic. Still helps with the defense and goal difference and whatever. But there's not many teams that are going to come here and sit back and go and get all 3 points. Any team that wants to come and get all 3 points, we will give them a game. We do struggle to break teams that sit back. It's just proven there yet. So Everton have got a point away to City, who have got probably the most dominant centre forward in the world right now. If that is a bad point for us, is that a terrible point for Man City?
No, but it's a great point for Man United.
It is. It was a good weekend for Man United, but we've had weekends where it's went our favour. This is just one of those weekends where it's just been a little blip in the road.
Right. What I would say though, right, is we're 3rd in the league, So how many teams are looking at coming to St. James's going, yeah, we're going to go all out to win this game? I think most teams coming to St. James's Park now would be happy to leave with a point.
Just don't
and
lose.
we'll have to be set, right, that more teams are going to play this way, and they're going to look, and it's like we've seen it with every team. You play a certain way, right? And once you play that way for half a season, other teams start to figure out how you're playing and combat it. And so Leeds have done it, Palace have done it, Bournemouth have done it, and I think you're just going to see more teams come and set up exactly that way when they come to St. James's Park, and we haven't found an answer to it yet. And I think this is something that they've really got to work on. I think it's going to be Howe's biggest challenge in the second half of the season.
Well, that's what he gets paid for. That's fine, it's January as well, so like if he is going to find a solution, now's the time to try and find it. He's got the chance to bring in some players. I just noticed a comment here from Dancing with the Devil. He says that Longstaff is Man United's McTominay. I'll be honest, I don't watch Man United that much. Shock. But my mate Joe said exactly the same thing about 2 months ago. He said McTominay is essentially Man United's version of Longstaff. Now today, Longstaff was pretty terrible. There was times when he gave the ball away so cheaply that it was ridiculous. When he had opportunities to take a strike at the goal, he ballooned it. But he wasn't the only one, obviously. I don't want to just single him out. Joe Linton, as you said, Dex there was not particularly brilliant. Trippier, it's easy to say, he's a great captain and so on, but his balls into the box were so telegraphed that Meslier essentially just had to sort of take 2 strides from his line, and he was just catching those balls out of the air without minimal effort. Minimal effort. There was some whip, but it was so obvious what he was going to do is the problem. And there was no hustle in the middle to give Meslier any kind of cause of concern. Even if you whip it into the area where the keeper might come out, if you get the guys in there and the jumping and the hustling and stuff, the keeper has to think twice every time he comes out of his line to claim that ball. And it didn't happen at all. So, the supply wasn't brilliant. The midfield wasn't particularly brilliant. Bruno was losing his rag at the end, of course. Because he knows that this game had to be won and we didn't win it, and he's very passionate and so on and so forth, but his performance itself wasn't all that great. I think the back line had very little to do, but even then Shaw wasn't that great. Dan Burn at times wasn't particularly brilliant, although, like I say, he didn't have a great deal to do. He had a chance or two and he didn't make much of them. It's basically been one of those games, I think, Craig, this is what you're getting at. It's been one of those games where everyone's levels were just enough below where they should be that the collective itself essentially failed to, get over the line and get the goal that they needed. Let's come back to that penalty decision in the first half, though. I don't want to linger on this too much. Nobody wants to talk about a draw for very much longer, and it's already 3 o'clock in the morning on New Year's Day for us in Australia. So
4 a.m. in real Australia, man.
4 o'clock for the fake time down there where Dex is. But that penalty decision in the morning, penalty decision in the morning. That penalty decision in the first half, that went against Newcastle. Craig, you might not be able to remember too much, but was that a penalty? I've got a few people pinging me now saying that it was definitely a penalty. What was your opinion, if you can remember it?
At first glance, I thought it was just a good 50-50 shoulder bulge, but on that second angle, it shows a Leeds player coming across, and he does trip Shaw, so it should have been a penalty. Whether VAR looked at that angle, which they should have done, apparently they look at all angles just to be doubly sure, but that was definitely a penalty, unless Shaw wasn't in control of the ball at the time, which I can't remember that part of the play.
Dex, I know we're supposed to be sort of grabbing at straws here, but
if the ref gave that as a pen, I can't see VAR overturning the ref's decision. But
the job of VAR is to overturn the referee's decision. So the ref decided.
Well, it's not. It's to bring out clear and obvious errors, and I'm not sure. And the kind of thing of clear and obvious, whether it was an obvious pen. I think one of the things that I just get frustrated with, right, is like, you kind of, they keep going backwards and forwards, right, and like slowing things down to the millisecond, and was there like a midgie's dick of a contact, which makes it a pen. Yeah. So look, I kind of if I was a Leeds fan that went against us, I'd probably be but it was a bit soft. But if could have been given, but it wasn't I'm not going to go too much on VAR and all that. It was we've had far worse ones not go to us.
Oh, I mean, Christ, that's another kettle of fish.
Yeah.
All right, lads, look, it is early in the morning, New Year's Day for us in Australia here. Let's not flog the dead horse. That was not the best performance. Certainly not what we wanted to be watching so early in the morning at the start of 2023. Any last words from you, Cracky Boy, before we wrap this up?
Nah, like I say, if I had to pick a man of the match, probably either Botman or Shaw, just because they were tidy and didn't much at the back.
I skipped it because it's going to be pretty much a difficult thing to do, isn't it? I mean, all right, Dex, pick your man of the match since Craig's win.
Oh man, it's I'm gonna go with Pope. Yeah, Pope. The ref. Yeah. Twat of the match.
He wasn't very good, was he?
No.
Ref, is that bias or was he just terrible?
Nah, he was. That's one of the most incompetent. Like, it was. When you see somebody who's never done the job before and they're just thrown in at the deep end, right? And like everything, you're just like, I was expecting Jeremy Beadle to come out dressed as a copper or something.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he wasn't very good, was he? It's a bit much to blame the referee for a terrible performance from Newcastle, but there were opportunities there where he could have done a little bit better. All right, look, lads, let's wrap that up there. Need all to get to bed. Thanks to everybody in the chats. Enjoyed your company.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to everyone who hasn't had a New Year yet. All the best for 2023 from everybody in the Toon of the podcast. I'm sorry we couldn't kick that one off with a win. Nothing to do with us. Don't blame me. I'm pissed as shit, so who cares?
Unbeaten all year, lads.
Unbeaten all year. Was it unbeaten all year? The whole year?
Well, yeah, we've just started, haven't we?
With that shit.
We're unbeaten in 2023.
All right, you're playing with your fake time zone. All right, fair enough. Yeah, unbeaten in 2023. Newcastle march on. We are in third place. We're sound down beaten, but Christ almighty, there's a lot more things to be whinging about. It could be a lot worse, or it could be third bottom. We'll be taking that at this time of the season if anybody asked for us. That'll do for us. Thanks very much, Craig. Thanks very much, Dexy Boy. We will see you for the next live stream, wherever that is. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better. Hopefully I might be a little bit sober. Don't bet on it though, because I'm not promising anything. And hopefully Newcastle will get 3 points. But for now, that will do from us, from the Toon of the podcast. Thanks everybody, and have a great 2023. Cheers.
Cheers, love.